Do you feel the boogie?
The 8th generation. My oh my, it's been a wild ride. Xbox One versus PS4, Wii U pretty much just slumping to the side that pretty much everyone forgot about. But there were some pretty good games from that generation. But as were there good games from the 7th gen and the 6th generation. Now, to celebrate the ceremonious end to the 8th generation as the PS5 and the Xbox Series X loom around the corner, we're going to be going over my pick for the top 10 games from each console generation, starting from the 6th through the 7th to the 8th generation in this new little mini series I'm doing, which would be something I would do probably every other generation. But anyways, in today's video I'm going to be counting down my pick for the top 10 games of the 6th generation. Alright, so starting off at the number 10 spot, we have Sonic Riders. Now all of you guys are probably just sitting there thinking, what the hell Sonic Riders? Let me fill you in. So the year is 2006. Everyone is pretty pumped up for the 15th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog after it started in 1991. Now I was only 6 years old when the 15th anniversary was coming around, and for the most part it was really shit, because we had the Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis port on the Game Boy Advance, which was just absolutely terrible, and then we had Sonic 06, which was arguably as bad and arguably one of the worst Sonic games ever to come out. But then there was Sonic Riders, one of the better games from the 15th anniversary. And the premise of the game is pretty simple. You play as Sonic, Tails or Knuckles, or any of the other characters, and you compete in races. Pretty simple, because it is. There was a series of tracks that you could select, including some unlockable tracks as you completed missions and objectives. Now all in all, this was probably one of my favourite games of the Sonic series. Obviously you can't beat the classics, but it would probably be on there with my top 10 favourite Sonic games, as it was quite a fun game. But I know that there was a bit of a series to it which pretty much died when Sonic Free Riders came out, because yeah, that game was pretty bad, and it's unfortunate because Sonic Riders was a pretty good game. The track design was pretty good, despite being a little bit basic, as a lot of people most likely would say, but the point is, the game was good. Okay, so taking number 9 today, we have 007 Nightfire. Everyone's probably heard of this game, in some form, but probably for the wrong reason. The shitty PC version. I'm talking about the PS2, Xbox and GameCube version. They were the better ones. And Nightfire was actually one of those rare instances where the console port was better than the PC. Now the premise of the campaign was pretty simple. You played as 007 James Bond, trying to stop Raphael Drake from acquiring nuclear missiles and launching them straight at the Earth to destroy for whatever dumb reason it could be. Well, the only guess being that he probably wanted to destroy America, as pretty much every generic Bond villain wants to do, destroy the West or whatever it is. The level design for the game is just brilliant, and the graphics for 2002 are just brilliant. Now where this game really hits home is the multiplayer. It takes everything that you would have from the likes of Agent Under Fire and GoldenEye 64 and pretty much puts it into the same formula, with new maps, characters and everything that you want. Now I love playing this game, and I might be a bit biased because there's possibly better games like GoldenEye 64, but a little bit of the thing that you probably didn't know, I actually have not played GoldenEye 64. Shocking, right? Nightfire is where it's at for 6th generation. I don't care what anyone else says. This game is one of the best games for James Bond, hands down. But if you're ever gonna get this game, don't ever buy the PC version. Console is where you wanna be. Alright, so taking the number 8 spot, we have Mafia 1. Everyone has heard of this game by now. It came out 2002, PC, Xbox, PlayStation 2. You know how the story goes. You play as Tommy Angelo. After being attacked by Don Morello in 1933, you decide to join up with Don Salieri to make up much better money than you would have as a proxy cab driver. It was the brutal truth. Until eventually, you get rid of Morello and you think Salieri ends up using you, but shit happens, and then the next thing you know, you're on the run from the Salieri family until you wind up dead in 1951 Empire Bay. And in case you didn't know, and spoiler alert if you don't know this, in the sequel, Vito Scaletta and Joe Barbaro are the ones who killed Tommy Angelo that you see in the ending of this game. That is the kind of things that we're talking about here. Now, if I had done this video possibly back in January, I would have said that this game really needs a remaster, as the graphics and the controls are pretty outdated by this point. However, it seemed that 2K answered our prayers and are giving us the monthly definitive edition coming out this August, which I'm going to be one of those people who's going to be playing it. But if you want me to play through the original game, then just leave a like on this video, that I'm more than happy to do a playthrough of the original monthly game before even touching the definitive edition, which I'm sure is going to kick ass, because it will. Trust me on that one. Alright, so taking the number 7 spot today, we have a little gem favourite of mine, Downhill Domination. Now, if you've been sticking with the channel since 2018, then you know last year I uploaded a video about Downhill Domination. But, for those of you who don't know, it was released on PS2 back in the year 2003. But what you don't know is, it was actually a PS2 exclusive, so it never came out on any other platform besides the PS2, which is why I don't think many people have actually heard of it. But if you've heard of Downhill Domination, comment down below, because I want to know how many people have actually heard of this game, because it is amazing. The track design is absolutely brilliant, the characters are likeable, and the visuals for 2003 are alright. Now it would be brilliant if this game had a remaster, because it deserves a remaster. And it's just so much fun to play, and the controls are smooth, and you feel rewarded at the end whenever you win a race, because there's just so much in-depth customization options, basically anything you can ask for. Now there is actually a spiritual successor to this game in the form of an Xbox One game, which I can't remember the title for. If I do remember, I'll post it, I'll tell you what it is in the comment section below, but if you want me to play more Downhill Domination, then yet again, tell me in the comment section below. Next up at number 6, we have everyone's childhood favourite, the Simpsons Hit and Run. Now I know straight away there's going to be a lot of pitchforks and people cursing that they're going to kill me, but hear me out. While I love Simpsons Hit and Run, there were just other games that I quite frankly enjoyed more than Hit and Run. Now everybody knows Hit and Run as GTA for kids, because it pretty much was. You could steal people's cars, but you didn't take your stealing with them. You were pretty much hitchhiking, because you'd end up in the passenger seat of someone else's car. Now the story was pretty funny. You started off as a Simpson, trying to figure out what these black surveillance vans were, thinking that they were to do with Mr. Burns, when in reality, from what I can remember, I think they were nothing to do with him, and actually ended up being about Kang and Kodos, after Bart Simpson in the second level ended up mysteriously disappearing, and then when he comes back when he plays Marge, ended up being a complete alien, or speaking alien I should say. Now the open world was split into 3 different sections. You had Evergreen Terrace, you had Downtown, and then you had the Harbour. And you also got to play as Homer, Bart, Marge, Lisa, and even Apu. Of all people, you got to play as Apu, because Apu was just brilliant. Now I know a lot of people get offended over Apu these days, but you know what? Fuck the snowflakes, because I don't give a shit about you little snowflakes. Because if you get offended over Apu, then just leave this channel, because we love Apu here. But anyway, I'm going to go for 1. Simpsons Hit and Run, 10 out of 10. straight down, and you can still find it possibly in your local CEX store, which is in the UK, or even if you're in the States, you probably might find it in some thrift store for like 5 cents or something. But I recommend getting Simpsons Hit and Run. But they seriously need to remaster this game. Like, come on guys, remaster Hit and Run. We're waiting for you. Okay, so in at number 5 we have Gran Turismo 4. One of the best racing games that came out on the PS2, hands down. You all know it, I all know it. It is Gran Turismo 4, came out 2005 exclusively on PS2 because, you know, Gran Turismo is the home of PlayStation 2. And, well, PlayStation in general I should say, but Gran Turismo 4, in my opinion, is still one of the best in the series. You had so many cars to choose from. I think there was around 100 odd cars maybe, tops, including all the classic cars that you would unlock as you progress through the story, or your career mode as you could call it. Now the tracks, you could go around all sorts. There was some of the dirt tracks, there was Seattle, there was going through New York, there was, I don't think you could go through Silverstone unfortunately, so if you're watching in Britain, I don't think there was Silverstone, but if there was, tell me about it because I never completed the game. For some odd reason, I just didn't really bother. But anyway, enough of me rambling, let's get on to the next one. Okay, so in at number 4 we have Need for Speed Most Wanted, the original and the best. Not the best Need for Speed game, that position goes to Underground 2. I haven't put it on this list because I simply never played it when I was around as like a 10-year-old kid or something. I know you 90s kids on here are probably pretty disappointed. I'm sorry, but I love Need for Speed Most Wanted. I've also played the sequel, or the spiritual successor to the game, when they semi-remastered it back in 2012 under the same name, but we're talking about the original Most Wanted here, where the story was pretty basic. Razor steals your car, you work through the blacklist, take him down, you take your car back, and then next thing you know, cops are on your tail because wherever you go in America there's always cops, and I mean that literally. Or is that just me because I tend to grab the attention of the cops whenever I play racing games? To be honest, I don't think I'll never know the answer to that one. Might just be my shite driving on there. Okay, so in at number 3 today we have Midnight Club 3. Yeah, a lot of you are probably thinking Midnight Club 3 and number 3, yeah, pretty generic, right? Hear me out. Midnight Club 3 is arguably the best Midnight Club game that you could get. It came out on Xbox, PS2 and PC back in 2005, same time that Most Wanted came around. And it was a pretty good game. The basis wasn't anything too much, all you did was go around winning street races in various locations, whether it be San Diego or wherever else there was. I think there was like Paris, but I can't remember all the cities that you could go to because I never completed the game. I'm only aware of San Diego and Paris. But the game was pretty fun. The music, the soundtrack, all good. The controls were smooth. Now does this game deserve a remaster? Hell yes. Rockstar, we're counting on you for a remake. Heck, even a sequel to Midnight Club LA would be nice. We're waiting on another Midnight Club, Rockstar. Come on, get a move on. Alright, we're almost at the number 1 spot, but in at number 2, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you follow my channel, I love playing Battlefront 2 because you would have seen it on my Instagram feed or even that one video I did when I was on Geonosis. I love Battlefront 2 Classic on PC. I first played this game on the PS2 back around 2010, 5 years after it came out, and ever since I have been in love with it. But these days I have it on PC, and with the modding it just makes the game 10 times better, and I mean that literally, because if you've been around playing Battlefront 2 for a long time, you would have known some of the more infamous mods, such as the Order 66 mod, where you would actually go in as either the 501st storming the temple in instant action, or even playing as the Jedi just burning down clone troopers. Now for me personally, the mods are the highlight of the game, as well as the campaign, and it's probably the grittiest and darkest campaign that there is. Like, it is really dark, because if you follow some of these Star Wars YouTubers like Geeksleys or Stupendous Wave, they go into it in a lot more depth, because that's just them. But from what I can tell you, the campaign is really worth it. Galactic Conquest is expanded on tremendously from the original Battlefront game, which deserves an honorable mention, by the way, because that game pretty much started off the series, because without Battlefront we wouldn't have this game. Okay, we are here, the #1 spot, and at #1 today we have LA Rush. I love this game. Like, you do not understand how much I love LA Rush above any other games on here. Like, there could have been others I could have put at #1, but I decided to go for LA Rush for a specific reason. It's my favourite racing game of all time. It's better than Battlefront 2, and that's saying something. Not because it's a racing game. Now, there's one thing you notice throughout this top 10 list, there was a lot of racing games on there, because back in the days of the 6th generation I was playing racing games, and LA Rush just topped a lot of them. Now, the pretty basic premise of the game is that you play this guy called Trix, and you have to work your way from the bottom of street racing to make it all the way back up to the top after everything is taken from you. Now, there are several side missions as well, such as taking down several Light Ray's billboards as a bit of retribution, as well as getting your cars back after they were pinched, and it all feels very rewarding. Now, obviously the visuals and the controls are a bit outdated today and deserves a remaster. Midway Games, we're waiting on you. But if you guys want to pick this game up now, then you're likely finding it on G2A for PC for probably quite cheap. But it also came out on PS2 and Xbox. I'd recommend getting it on console, because apparently I've heard that the PC version isn't as good. So bear that in mind when you play this game. So there we have it. That was my pick for the top 10 6th generation games. Did you agree or did you disagree? If so, let me know in the comment section down below, because I would love to hear your thoughts. Or if you completely disagree with my list, tell me your own. So I'd love to know your thoughts, because we all have our favourite games from each generation. Now, the next video I'm going to do in this series is going to be the 7th generation, which right now I'm still struggling to decide which 10 games from the 7th generation